Oh. Go ahead, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for having such a thoughtful and serious discussion. I want to add my voice to the others who have said that they want to encourage giving. They believe in the nonprofits and the work that they do. I would point out that Arkansas has historically been at the top. We are not a wealthy state, but we give a lot, and we are, I think we were ranked #1 per capita giving at one point. And so nonprofits are a big part of the community where I live in Little Rock, and I've learned a lot about nonprofits as I've been serving up here. And one of the things that I want to drill down on is the role of the federal government with nonprofits. It seems to me if we could encourage more giving, then someone was asking, where do we get the revenue? Well, maybe the federal government could quit giving nonprofits so much money, and we could replace that with private donations where people are making individual choices. And I want to lay some of this out and then get your comment. I have learned since being in Congress, I've toured a lot of nonprofits. I've toured food banks and our Rice Depot and other things. And usually the first question I ask is, where do you get your revenue? How much of your revenue is from contributions? And some of them say, we're proud that we get no government money. And others say, we get 80% government money, which just shocked me when I learned that a lot of these nonprofits are federal agencies, in fact, and they get their money through as a pass-through, you know. And when I started tracing the dollar that we as taxpayers give and how much is left when it gets back to Arkansas and is distributed by a state agency after it's been through 7 steps to get there, a dollar gets back at like a quarter or 10 cents or whatever. And it seems to me if we want to find waste and better use of our dollars, we should encourage someone who lives down the street from the Rice Depot to just give them a check instead of having taxpayers send all the money to Washington. It's then sent over to an agency. They then divvy it up, send it back to the state. The state gives it to the county, and then they distribute it to a local community group that does good things. But it's a very inefficient way of doing good things. And one of the things that has bothered me is, I've talked with some charities about this, they'll tell me, we started out with no government money. Then it went to 5%. Then it went to 10%. And then one time we got a big grant, and it was 75%. So we quit fundraising. They've become dependent nonprofits. And the tools in their philanthropy toolbox rust because they don't have to court big donors, and they love that. And they don't have to have annual dinners, and they love that. They just get that big check from the federal government, and I know those are a minority, but this is what we've created, and so I'd like to get your comment on that, and I just want to let you know that I want to encourage private individuals to make decisions of where they want to put their money, and we have to remember that simplification is critical. There's a lot of great ideas that get complicated, so if any, Mr. Gallagher.
Hey, Congressman, just point of fact, United Way is the second largest funder of human services behind government. So we're the largest private supporter of human service programming. There are nonprofits that are overly dependent on government funding. There's no question about it. The private sector will never be able to replace government funding in total. It's just, we're dwarfed by it. Having said that, where you see the partnership working is what's great about local private money is it's local and it's flexible, and it moves quickly. Where you see public investment working is when there's flexibility built in. So we'll not be able to replace public money and federal support and state support. But if you look in Detroit right now, there's been a rehauling of the entire food distribution system. Local government, state government, with federal money, created incentive and flexibility in the food bank system, and local nonprofits redesigned it together.
Yeah, just real quickly, I would
Please.
Yeah,
say,
because we're out of time. Very quickly.
Sorry.
thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank this panel very much for their testimony. Very much appreciate the amount of time and the quality of the remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.